I'm Amy, this is the Opinionated Woman, and welcome to my 2020 roundup, I suppose. I didn't do a best of worst of for 2020 because honestly the holidays were hardcore, but I did want to go through how my reading year went and the challenges that I did give myself. I gave myself an 80 book goal on Goodreads, and I managed to read 101 books, which was super sick. So I give myself a 100 this year because I've done 100 and then 101 2 years in a row. So I reckon I can challenge myself without that being, detrimental to my brain. So when the pandemic started, I realized obviously we weren't going to be going outside very much. We're going to be staying indoors a lot of the time. I mean, I work from home anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I wanted to make an effort to read the books on my physical TBR. So at the beginning of 2020, I had 66 unread books on my shelves. And I mean, I have accumulated a couple more now because of Christmas and stuff like that. But I wanted to see how much of that I could actually cut down during the lockdown because I felt like it was the perfect opportunity. So here are the pictures I took before of my two bookshelves. And then I turned around all the books I'd read, and here's what they looked like after. So that was what I had to work with. And I did the same thing again at the end of 2020. So I'll show you that footage now. So this is my bookshelf as it looks right now. Obviously, this is a lot of like collections of stuff that I've read. But yeah, just rainbow shelves all the way down. And this is my little one with green, white, and black. So let me turn them around and see how many I've read. Not one of those people who leaves their books backwards, but this is really satisfying. Just look at all those books I've read. I'm so proud of myself. Ooh. The final little shelf. Oh my god. So now it's time to count and see how many I have unread on my shelves at the beginning of 2021. So I did pretty well, don't you think? I reckon I did pretty well. I read a good chunk. So now on my shelves I have 34 unread books. So I just about halved the amount of books on my TBR last year, which is insane. It's so great. I'm so chuffed with myself. So let's go through some of these Goodreads things. I'm gonna have screenshots here so you know what I'm looking at on my 2013 iPad. So yeah, I read 101 books, 34,582 pages. I don't really take note of that kind of thing, but that's a lot of pages. It's quite cool. The shortest book I read was Opal by Maggie Stiefvater, which is like a little novella that goes along with the Raven Cycle. And the longest book I read was Grown Ups by Marion Keyes. That one was really good. I watched Marion Keyes do her wee short films, as she says, on YouTube. She hasn't done them in a while, but because of me watching her do those for so many years, I knew when she used her family members' names as character names, and I knew that she'd taken inspiration from her own family because her family is huge. I mean, they're like Irish. That seems to be a thing. I mean, that my grandmother's Irish. She had 11 siblings, so so that was just all about like family dynamics, and it didn't end in that like cookie cutter unrealistic way. It ended really well, so I liked that one a lot. My average book length in 2020 was 342 pages. I did read a few novellas and graphic novels, so that makes sense. My most popular book you would have expected is From She Who Shall Not Be Named. And my least popular book was Untorn Ticket, which I read in a vlog with 173 people had it on their shelves. And I mean, that was just a random book given to me by my dad, so I hadn't ever heard of people talking about the author before or anything like that, so that makes sense. My average rating doesn't matter because I don't rate books, but the highest rated book that I read in 2020 was God's Grave, which really surprised me because one, it's fuck long. I mean, I like long books, but a lot of people don't. Um, it's really dark and gory and sexual. um, and I know a lot of people didn't like it. So it's got a 4.5 star rating, and it's got like 32,000 reviews, which is nuts. So like, yeah, that completely that surprised me. And then yeah, the rest of it is just my little collage of all the books that I read. Oh. And it didn't load, so that's silly. Anyway, so let's now have a look at what I've collected together in my book. Okay, so now with my book every year, I just have a couple of topics that I like to cover. So best book of the year, worst book of the year, how many new authors I've read, and DNFs. I had 11 DNFs this in 2020, this year. So if you guys want me to do a video on DNFs, I can. I have been letting myself do that a lot recently. Not a lot, but like I've let myself DNF things that I don't want to read a lot more last year than I did before. So I think that's a good thing, because I'm not wasting my time reading books that I'm not going to like. New authors, I read 55 new authors this year. I think that's freaking sick. And I know I've definitely found a bunch of new authors that I've then gone on to read more from, or plan to read more from them. So that's also amazing. My best book of the year was Heart's Invisible Furies by John Boyne. I mean, lots of people have spoken about this on YouTube. It's a Chonksa. It's a family saga, or not a family saga. It follows. I suppose it is a family saga. It follows our main character Cyril, who is a gay man, born in Ireland and then moves to America. It's a whole big, long, heartbreaking, beautiful book. But this is not a wrap up, so I'm not going to talk about it. But I highly, highly recommend it. My worst book of the year, however, was The Guest List by Lucy Foley. That book made me really mad. I love Agatha Christie. You know, I love Death in Paradise, if anybody's watched that show. Like, I love a good locked door mystery, bring everyone together in one room and like dramatically announce the killer. I'm all there for that good cheese, you know? But oh my god, this book was infuriating. Like, absolutely infuriating. It just had so many convoluted storylines that it decided to put in there. Everything got connected together in like a little bow. And let me just explain what it's about. There's a wedding. It's happening on an island. Some rich bitch happening on an island. It's a wedding party, and somebody at the wedding dies. And the way so many people, if you want to read this book, probably don't, I'm not going to spoil anything, but the way so many people are linked to this one person pissed me off so much, because it was just so damn convenient. And I can suspend my disbelief, like, for sure. I mean, Agatha Christie, was the master of doing stuff like this. And it looked like Lucy Foley tried to do it, but it was like, oh, I'm going to be way more dramatic about it. And then the shit hit the fan. Like, and BookTube loved that book. Like, I don't know if I hated that or November 9 more. And those are two BookTube books that people absolutely love. But you know what? This is my channel. This is my rules. So yeah, that was basically just my did I succeed in my goals for 2020, and did I have a fun time doing it? Yes, I did. And hopefully this year I can also read another 100 books, because that would be fantastic. So until next time, give me a like if you like this video, subscribe if you're new, be kind to people, be kind to yourself, wear a mask, and I'll see you next time.